time we encountered the spin-off to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, it felt rushed, but it introduced us to a new world. Now we enter into sequel territory with Rainbow Rocks! Despite the mixed reviews of Equestria Girls, Hasbro decided to continue their new film series with a much more musical approach. Call it My Little Pony meets High School Musical, but remove the overhyped feel of the latter, and that's pretty much what you get here. Now comes the question of whether the sequel improves upon the original, or if it suffers from typical sequel syndrome in that it's disappointing by comparison to the original. Well, let's sit back, relax, and take time to learn how the Rainbow Rocks. We start our adventure with angry restaurant patrons and 3 hooded figures performing some kind of energy-absorbing spell, until one of the hoods complains it's not enough.
The energy in this world isn't the same as in Equestria.
Oh, I wish we'd never been banished to this awful place.
Really? I love it here.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark and assume that the third one is the village idiot who doesn't understand sarcasm.
For realsies? Because I think this place is the worst.
Yay, villainous trio tropes! Just then, we get a long-distance shot of the events of the first movie. This brings Adagio, the leader of this group, to a sudden revelation.
Do you know what that is? It's equestrian magic. And we're going to use it to make everyone in this pathetic little world adore us.
Wait. All that power and you're going to use it to make people love you? I'm sorry, but unless you're capturing Princess Cadance, I don't think that's how equestrian magic works. Later on, we watch as Counterlot High prepares for its upcoming music festival. Sunset Shimmer offers to help, but you can imagine how everyone outside of Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, Pinkie, and Fluttershy feels about her.
I think it's going to be one of the most exciting events we've had at CHS since the fall formal.
Well, on the one hand, you can't really blame them for hating her after the events of the fall formal in the last movie. However, you gotta learn to forgive and forget. In fact, this movie starts an overarching theme for later films with Sunset Shimmer's redemption from her past. Quick recap. After being defeated by the magic of friendship at the end of the first movie, Sunset Shimmer admitted to not knowing anything about making friends. For this, Twilight assigned the others to be Sunset's first friends and show her what friendship's all about. Since then, it's pretty obvious that the others were willing to forgive and forget Sunset's evil ways.
I turned into a raging she-demon.
And we've forgiven you for your past boo-boos.
To be fair, most people wouldn't want to forgive someone who went super evil and hypnotizes them into being part of their slave army. After sitting through a band practice session with Rainbow Dash and the rest, Sunset Shimmer is called upon to show some new students around school.
Are you the girls I'm supposed to show around?
We are.
Ah yeah, that's not ominous at all. I thought a certain obvious villain character in another movie was overdoing it with the whole I am evil thing. During the tour, Sunset gets some weird vibes about these new students and proceeds to tell her friends about it.
There was something off about them.
Like off like this? Or off like this?
That's just it. I can't put my finger on it.
Cue evil musical number in 3, 2, 1... Here we go. During this musical number, Adagio, Aria, and Sonata put a spell on the class, forcing them to turn the showcase into a new event.
Let's have a battle of the fans.
After witnessing the kind of off the new students are,
Oh, they're that kind of off!
the girls decide to talk to Principal Celestia and Vice Principal Luna about what they witnessed. Only to find that Adagio got to them first.
And we think having a battle of the bands instead is a marvelous idea.
And Sunset is still viewed as evil by most of her peers? I'm calling shenanigans! To be honest, this first 20 minutes has actually made me feel bad for Sunset. As much as she wants to forget her past, there are people that still hold it against her. Every reminder of what happened makes her feel like garbage, and it makes her feel like she'll never escape it. Her friends accidentally bring it up from time to time, but they are the only ones to actually forgive her. One of the hardest parts of moving forward and growing as a person is forgetting your past mistakes, but the hardest of them all is forgiving yourself, and Act 1 Sunset Shimmer is showing it. Back to the story. The girls are stumped on how to handle the current situation, wishing that they could contact Twilight. Sunset has an idea how to do just that.
When I was Princess Celestia's student back in Equestria, she gave me this.
It used to be that if I wrote something here, it would appear in the pages of a book back in Princess Celestia's library. I get a message to her, then she can get a message to Princess Twilight.
So it's instant messaging, but without the technology? How will this work cross-dimensionally? Only one way to find out. As Sunset pens her message with the 3 words every brony knows very well.
Dear Princess Celestia.
We cut to the newest piece of architecture in Equestria, where Twilight begins inheriting books from her former teacher, Princess Celestia.
Excuse me, Princess. Where do you want all these books from Princess Celestia?
The library. 3rd door on the left.
Even this one that's glowing and vibrating?
Hey, don't look at me! My phone's off! Guess I was wrong. Also, awesome way to play out the continuity of the My Little Pony universe after the first Equestria Girls movie. Twilight gets Sunset's message and begins to tell us the truth about our foes. Adagio and the Dancelings are beings known as the Sirens.
Not the sirens! I don't actually know what that is.
The short version of the exposition is that the Sirens had magical voices, and their power came from feeding off the negative energy of ponies. Pony Wizard Stars World of Bearded banished the Sirens to another world, the Canterlot High world, assuming that the world they would be in is one where their magic would be lost.
My friends need me. I have to get back to them. I hate to burst your bubble, Twilight, but the connection between their world and Equestria will still be totally cut off for a super long time. If the connection is totally cut off, how was Sunset Shimmer able to get a message to Twilight? Pinky, you're a genius.
I am worried about the future when a comedy relief character is suddenly a genius. What's next? A minion with a PhD? So Twilight builds a magic transfer system that will allow the magic of the book to reopen the portal between Equestria and Canterlot High. After activating the Stargate wannabe, Twilight fields a quick question from her friends before taking her trip.
Don't suppose we could join you this time around?
Better not. It could make things pretty confusing if Canterlot High all of a sudden had 2 of all of you.
Wait, an actual logical reason for not having anyone other than Twilight or Spike go through the portal? Equestria Girls, you're stepping up your game. Twilight then arrives at CHS for a quick reunion and update.
What's new here? I mean, besides your school becoming the target of dangerous magical creatures from Equestria. Yeah, so that isn't exactly the only strange thing that's happened since you left.
Thanks for showing us clips from the prequel shorts on your phone, Rainbow Dash. After discussing the magic situation, we cut to a pre-battle event with a showdown between our heroes of the last movie and the Dazzlings.
There isn't going to be a battle of the bands. We're gonna make sure of that. All right, girls, let's do this. Friendship is magic!
You know, I think I'm gonna just go and grab a drink. Call me when something actually happens. Okay, so the magic of friendship didn't work. The girls hold a meeting outside the school to figure out how to tackle the situation since Twilight is lost on how their unity didn't activate their magic.
But to defeat me, you drew magic from the crown I was wearing. The Sirens' magic comes from their music. So maybe you have to use the same kind of magic to defeat them.
Oh yeah, music is magic. That makes total sense. How do we not figure that out until now? Twilight decides to try writing a counterspell song that she and the band will perform to defeat the Sirens, Dazzlings. Later that night at Pinky's house, we get a moment where Twilight and Sunset have quite the heart-to-heart discussion.
Must be nice to have everyone always looking to you for answers to their problems, instead of waiting for you to cause a problem.
Just because everyone expects something from you doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen.
But that doesn't stop them from expecting it.
Which only makes things harder because the last thing you want to do is let everybody down.
This conversation shows that even though Twilight and Sunset are on opposite ends of the spectrum, there are actually a few similarities between them. Sunset, because of her faults, knows everyone just sees the worst in her, when there is so much more to her than her faults. Twilight has her faults, but everyone sees her as the one with all the answers. She's still learning how to be a strong leader. Strong leaders have to admit their faults because it's those around them that make them strong. Sunset and Twilight show that expectations, both good and bad, can wear a person down. The pressure to succeed in everything you do, and the weight of judgment on everything you do. The next day rolls around and we get the most cringe-worthy practice session for a very rough counterspell.
Now that was something else.
This then turns into an argument between Rainbow Dash, Rarity, AJ, Pinky, and Fluttershy with regards to how this is going wrong. However, this gets interrupted by Sunset reminding them that
You're supposed to check in at the Battle of the Bands in 15 minutes.
oh crap, where's my guitar? But because the counterspell isn't ready, the girls have to compete for real until the spell's ready. No pressure, right, Twilight? We then cut to the first round of the competition with yet another cringeworthy moment in Snips and Snails rapping.
Please do not drop the microphones.
This is followed by the Rainbow's first performance, but they need to keep their magic in check or the Sirens could be onto them.
So, about 20% less cool.
I see what you did there with that throwback reference. Clever. Sadly, the performance is sabotaged by the competition, which leads to more infighting. Yet somehow the Rainbows move on in the competition. As the girls look for a new place to work on the counterspell, we have a very different take on the whole Twilight and Flash Sentry thing.
We really need to stop bumping into each other like this.
You guys hear something?
Why are you acting like this? I thought we were friends.
Yeah, and then you decide to come back here just so you could beat me in the Battle of the Bands. I want this, Twilight, and you're trying to take it from me. Some friend.
You know, I think this scene helps with a point that some people may have missed upon viewing this movie for the first time. While under the Siren spell, no one is accountable for anything they say or do. Between the sabotage that goes unchecked and now Flash's verbal abuse, we see just how powerful their spell really is. And we get confirmation of how powerful the Sirens are, even if they haven't gotten their full power back, through a musical number.
Oh, whoa, oh, whoa, you didn't know that you fell. Oh, whoa, now that you're under our spell.
During the song, we get a montage of events that take place throughout the competition, including a very much freaked out Twilight struggling to write the counterspell and a depressed Sunset Shimmer. Probably doesn't help that Sunset got reminded of her past sins by the Sirens / Dazzling. Heck, they even told Sunset that she probably wasn't invited to be part of the Rainbows because the girls were, and I quote,
Probably afraid no one would want to see them play if she was in the group.
those girls are the devil, pure and simple. We then get an ego battle between Trixie and Rainbow Dash right before the Rainbows' performance of a very ego-filled Rainbow Dash song.
Awesome as I wanna be. First you see me riding on a sonic boom. Got my guitar shredding up my latest tune. There is nothing you can do to beat me. I'm so good that you can't defeat me. Yeah, I'm awesome. Take caution. Watch out for me. I'm awesome as I wanna be.
But during Dash's ego stroke, she starts to let her magic out, forcing a very nervous Sunset Shimmer to take action, which sadly gets the school against her yet again.
The real Sunset Shimmer is back.
No, it isn't like that.
How much more abuse is this girl going to take before she gives up on her hopes of redemption? How much longer do we have? Okay, so there's still time for a turnaround. Despite these events that should have ended their time in the competition, the Rainbows move on to the final round to compete against the Dazzlings. Guess when dark magic needs to grow, you have to manipulate the results to get your desired outcome. Of course, Trixie won't have any of this as she opens a trap door on the big stage and traps the Rainbows in the basement.
See you never.
Hours pass and we find the girls still trapped, more infighting, and a very depressed Twilight.
I should know what to do. How can I not know what to do? How can I have failed like this? Hey! Anybody here remember fun? I'll give you a hint! It's the exact opposite of being in the Rainbows! I wish I'd never asked any of you to be in my band! I wish I'd never agreed to be in it! Me neither!
Loud noises!
But the Dazzlings begin their performance when Sunset notices an aura around her arguing friends heading to the stage. This causes the friendship newbie to speak up and stop the fight.
Stop! You have to stop! This is what they've been after all along. They're feeding off of the magic inside you. Ever since you started this band, you've been letting little things get to you. I never said anything because I didn't feel like it was my place. Not when I was so new to this whole friendship thing. I still have a lot to learn, but I do know that if you don't work out even the smallest problems right at the start, the magic of friendship can be turned into something else.
Sunset is wise beyond her experience. As for Twilight, remember that pressure she put on herself?
I can't believe all this tension was happening right under my nose and I didn't realize it. I'm supposed to be the one with all the answers, and all I've done since I got here is let you down.
I don't think anyone is supposed to have all the answers, but you can count on your friends to help you find them.
And now we have a pair of strong leaders. Great work, movie! The girls are eventually freed from their below-stage prison and decide to get the band back together to defeat the Sirens/Dazzlings with the power of friendship. And they get a little help from a silent background character, DJ Pone 3, or Vinyl Scratch to some of you people in the fandom. Guess it's a good thing those headphones are practically glued to her head.
Why isn't she under their spell?
Never takes off her headphones.
The real battle of the bands begins as we see both bands power up during their songs. But the Sirens have become too powerful and the Rainbooms lay on the ground in what seems almost like certain defeat until an unlikely heroine steps up to the microphone.
Sunset Shimmer, we need you!
Sing it, girl! It's your time to shine!
You're never gonna bring me down. You're never gonna break this part of me. My friends are here to bring me around. Not singing just for popularity.
Oh, yes, beautiful! With Sunset singing added to the already magical Rainbooms, she unlocks her own pony magic, and the 7 of them harness their power and bring down the Dazzlings in a very Scott Pilgrim-esque way and render them powerless.
We will be adored. Tell us that you want us. We won't be ignored.
And I thought the Cutie Mark Crusaders were bad. The entire class from Candlelight High is officially free from the spell of the Dazzlings, Sunset Shimmer becomes an official member of the Rainbooms, and Twilight returns home.
This isn't goodbye. It's just goodbye till next time.
And we close on a new letter from Sunset to her new teacher in Twilight.
Dear Princess Twilight, missing you already, and hope you'll be back soon. Things are definitely looking up for me here at Canterlot High, but I know I still have a lot to learn about friendship. Hope you don't mind if I write to you for advice when I need it. Your friend, Sunset Shimmer.
So that's Rainbow Rocks, and it's a rockin' good time! This was a strong sequel, earning a final score of 8.5 out of 10. This movie improved on the first one in handling its plot's progression, considering the whole Battle of the Bands concept. The songs are catchy, and it gave us a real connection to Sunset Shimmer, making us feel sad for her in the beginning, and then cheering her on as she hits a strong point in her redemption. Where the first Equestria Girls faltered, Rainbow Rocks improved. And there's no way you could top this movie unless you could find yet another good story to work with. And it's not like this movie gave us some kind of bonus scene that would tease us with a third Equestria Girls film, right?
No doubt about it, Spike. There's definitely something strange going on at that school.
Dimensional Paradox, say what?
And the sound that we